now a little out of order, just because of the fact that we're riding the high of that. And, first and foremost, Eddie Kingston and Moxley cut this like great promo. It was kind of saying how like they're coming on our turf and we're going to lay down the law, and we're going to make you not feel welcome and all this stuff. And I thought the promo was good. And I mean, two of the best on the mic, cutting an outstanding promo. This team that you called, when we saw them live in that 6-man tag, that they could join forces of ultimately. And before we dive into the match, it's nice how the Matt Hardy kind of tied in together, how Kingston is helping his friend now and he's recruiting the Butcher and the Blade. So they're tying these storylines that are making sense. But this match, those two great guys in the mic to start off, and then as soon as they come out, the Good Brothers attack them. They started off the match attacking them, and they ended the match after the bell attacking. So it was a constant battle. To me, this match didn't hit as much as I wanted it to hit. The bigger story was the post match antics. I expected more out of this match, out of them. Still trying to be generous, and it was entertaining for sure, but the Good Brothers just rub me the wrong way, and I think they rub a lot of AEW fans the wrong way, and they're doing their part doing that. It's one of those true heels. Like, we can appreciate MJF, we can appreciate Britt Baker, for that aspect, but just like for some reason,
genuinely
the Good Brothers,
someone,
right, and it's really elevating Kenny into a really just nasty heel because of that even more. And I'm a huge Kenny Omega fan, but him associated with the Good Brothers is just making him just so hated and unliked. But with Don Callis is one of those like heels you love. And it's funny because how much Tony Schiavone and the announce team just hate Don Callis. They're calling him like so many names on commentary as well. But there was it was a hard-hitting match and physical. I like that part, but just the roll-up finish by Moxley, even if he did his paradigm shift is an awesome finisher. Like you said, it's protecting that people though. It's protecting the ex-champs. They just recently lost the belts on Impact, but I still think they should have hit the finisher to win it. And then you had Kenny Omega coming out strutting, looking all fancy, and then the absolute beatdown, and then all the post-match shenanigans. So to me, this match, honestly, it was a delete match for me, but the overall segment and the long-term storytelling was elite because I'm excited for what's in store with the Young Bucks, hoping they will super kick the Good Brothers way back to Tennessee, back to Impact Wrestling. And it was some great stuff, man. They come out to protect Mox to stop it, and then they don't put up the too sweet. They get in the face of Kenny, and it was just a great way, adding a quick pivot away from the former Inner Circle into maybe possibly a feud with the Good Brothers and anything like that. So that part was a home run for sure.
Yeah, I think watching this all play out, it took me back to the first night when we saw the Good Brothers, the Young Bucks, Kenny, all of them, the reunion of the Bullet Club. It took me back all the way back then. And it made me reminded me of my first reaction and inclination of where I thought the story would go. And over the course of the weeks, it's kind of played out that way. And I see it happening. Tonight was an absolute perfect example of I think it's starting to really unfold for everyone to see. This is the morality play. This is you have the Young Bucks, who are the good angel on one shoulder, and the Good Brothers are the devil on the other shoulder of Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Well put.
And it's so obvious that Don Callis has, in a lot of ways, tried very hard to squeeze the Young Bucks out of the picture, allowing him to then corrupt Kenny further. And anytime that we're surround, this is something I tend to believe in as a personal philosophy. You are an average of the 5 people that you spend time with in your life. And so when you eliminate the good guy, the Young Bucks have had their share of ups and downs over the course, but they at the end, at their core, have a lot of good values and tend to be the ones that have always helped guide Kenny in the right direction. When you get rid of those people from the equation, all of a sudden that average goes a lot further down for Kenny when it comes to his morality. It's just a bad. You've seen what he's capable of doing tonight. What he was doing after the match. What they were gonna do to Mox.
Gosh, that looked brutal.
In the chair like that.
Yeah.
Taking Kingston out like they did. Just a despicable action.
Very despicable.
Really, it's just like you said, for the DMD, there's the charisma, there's that star power with MJF and Pinnacle now. There's no doubt. I mean, I loved seeing that. I'm an FTR fanboy. I love seeing what they're doing with Pinnacle. But this is an example with the Good Brothers and Kenny that even though we can respect what Kenny can do in the ring, and we can respect the importance that the Good Brothers have had to really building the whole Bullet Club brand, we can respect those things, but we're starting to really easily lose our respect for how they conduct themselves. Every time we see them on screen, there's very much that cringe factor of like, these guys are just bad dudes, man. They're not like bad guys who are funny and like cool and charismatic. They're just bad guys.
Right.
And they're very much in it for themselves. More than willing to like cut other people down and embarrass other people and do sort of things like that for their own gain.
Right.
So I feel like they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're building a detestable Kenny Omega, and they've leaned in on his use of the Good Brothers and Don Callis and things like that, so that when he ultimately is dethroned as the champion, that culmination of a hero's journey to overcome Kenny, the evil Kenny, is going to be a beautiful thing. I believe it's going to be Hangman. I think a lot of fans see that too. Wow. But I just think that the story is building towards that, and I think that would be the ultimate like hero's moment for Hangman. That said, dude, like this match, my biggest takeaway from it was post match as well, and so I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm gonna agree with you. This was a delete for me as well. Moxley's offense just wasn't hitting the way that I'm used to seeing him hit in AEW. Some of it reminded me, unfortunately, of some of his run in WWE. Some of his offense just wasn't as physical. And again, I hate to be like saying that fresh off the heels of the dude going through hell and back.
In fact, he's back in the ring so soon.
I mean, he should honestly not even be out there. So I have to give the man credit for even being out there. I view this one, the match itself, as sort of a delete for me, unfortunately. The Good Brothers, I struggle with their in-ring work a little bit sometimes too. But I love the post-match stuff. And I think that Kingston and Moxley are a great pairing in that they are so good at drawing us in as like the emotional element of a story. Both those guys are incredible. Kingston's selling of the leg injury after the match was really compelling stuff, man. So I think that they're onto something. You have two bitter rivals that have earned each other's respect and are in it together now. I'm interested to see where that goes, man.
Yeah, I'm anxious as well. So I mean, that group of people obviously are clearly main eventers, and there's so many different side feuds going on. That's very exciting in the time right now, in fresh feuds as well.
Yeah.